What's happening, everybody? Tobin here with you, coming to you from the Garage of Doom. I know it looks like a studio, all professional and everything, but believe you me, it is just a garage, and yes, my 6-year-old son is trying to ride a bike over there. So we roll on and we do the sports commentary as it goes and get into the silly sauce as it was. Polished up my boots real nice. Had the boots on the ground today over in Miami Gardens, which was an exciting day, an eventful day. I was expecting a much more quiet practice today because I felt like the last Tuesday practice was quiet, but pads were on today. You got a real, I gotta tell you. So we were inside the I don't think it's a bubble, the indoor facility. Makes me harken back to the Nick Saban Memorial bubble, right? But it was they put us on like this pavilion. And right above the big uglies, you see them all out there clacking with pillows and getting hand in the well, technically artificial turf, but just getting after it, dude. I mean, you could feel the atmosphere in the air. Was standing pretty much above Terron Armstead, and that was kind of cool to see him back at practice as the Dolphins' prize left tackle. Got to some action, starting to ramp it up. It is kind of crazy for some of these veterans. They really are ramping it up starting now because you have all of this time still. You're going to have your last preseason game this week, and then you're basically talking 2 weeks until your first game. So it's a little bit weird. But there is it was great to see him out there. Certainly, I think that'll big theme's been the run game, right? Like this hasn't exactly looked up to snuff. And I think you add your prize left tackle to that unit. Certainly makes things feel a lot better, look a lot better in the way things are. And so that was definitely a big deal. And then, of course, I think even bigger than that, because we knew that Armstead wasn't really hurt. It's just a ramp-up thing. But seeing Jaylen Waddle out there at least doing some work was pretty fantastic because we know how dynamic he is. We know how this coaching staff has been talking him up. We know what that rookie year was. Had a sleeve on one of his legs, I believe it was the right leg, and saw him doing some individual drills, saw him doing the stuff in the individual portion of practice. They did keep him out of 11-on-11, but obviously it was great to see Jaylen out there because they held him out all last week. Played for you, I guess, in the last video that clip of McDaniel saying that he's getting pretty annoyed that the team is being overcautious with him. And so while they were cautious today, they at least let him go out there and run around a little bit and get some energy out. And look, it's smart with what they've been doing. Jaylen Waddle is going to be such a huge piece of this team. And I think that's what a lot of frustration or misunderstanding is coming from with this much preseason, because Mike McDaniel talked about this during his morning press conference. Because people were wondering, like, what is he going to do? Are they going to do a dress rehearsal? How are they going to handle all that? And Mike McDaniel not really sweating the whole dress rehearsal thing as far as it's concerned for his team.
I think what you guys are seeing across the league is a bunch of organizations and coaching staffs and head coaches trying to adjust to 3 preseason games because there's way more variance in the protocol. You could almost it was like clockwork when it was 4 preseason games. But it's not just that it's only 3, it's that there's 2 weeks until the regular season begins. So those compounding variables make it kind of tricky. I believe the Super Bowl champions last year didn't play anybody the entire preseason.
All right. Well, listen, it's always good invoking the champs. That's if you have a philosophy and you want to stick with it, if the champions did what you are believing in currently, it's a good place to lean back on. But I also get the concern of it too. Like, this is a new offense, bringing it in and comparing a situation where Sean McVay obviously is a little bit more seasoned in the head man role than a guy like Mike McDaniel is. And then on top of it, you have a guy in Matthew Stafford who had all those years in the league. It's a little bit different. I don't know. Tough to read as of right now because, you do have the joint practices this week. I would say if there were no joint practices this week, it would be a slam dunk that Tua would play a little bit more. The first teamers would get a little bit more. But I think that joint practice is an interesting variable because I think they really value the work that they get out of those. And when the Eagles come into town and they feel like they've had a good couple of days, it could really shift things. The other big concern has kind of been, and the other thing is, you think about the injuries and how cautious they're being with Jaylen Waddle. And I would say that the tone has been pretty cautious from this coaching staff, whether it comes to their veterans, it comes to their stars. They're taking a kid glove approach. And then you think about what the preseason games have actually been, and think about the guys that have actually played. It has been plagued with injuries, and especially particularly for one position group. You think about what happened to Trill Williams late in the first game. You think about what happened to Nick Needham, and now Mackenzie Alexander, who they just brought in, is going on IR. So this hasn't exactly been the cleanest preseason as it is, and you haven't really lost a quote-unquote star as of yet, and I don't think you want to in football games that don't count. Dress rehearsal, yeah, I get it. You would like ideally for this whole entire crew to be on the same page and motoring, and certainly people are concerned about the run game and whether or not that's going to look better or not. This was a little bit of good news though. Alec Ingold, who is the new fullback, he is good to go. He was he has removed the red jersey. Couple of red jerseys removed. Him and Mostert both didn't have red jerseys today at practice, so that was a good sign. But Ingold talked about how he believes he can help the blocking game for this team.
Linemen, they line up, they're in the trenches, right? You're nose to nose, face to face, face mask to face mask, and they got those cages on, right? So they're seeing things quick. As a fullback, I got 5 yards to be able to read things, be able to see the defense. I have one of the best seats in the house. So anytime there's any late stems, any late rotation in the backfield, we can pick that up and we can adjust. So I think that's, everyone's going to take responsibility for it, but as a fullback, you definitely want to help the guys in front of you and then the guy behind you too.
So that whole entire thing, because we know that Mike McDaniel, big into having the fullback on his team, big into having the help for that blocking on his team, hasn't really had that yet. It has been a case of, they are just doing, as they'll say, basic, they're not showing really anything. And yeah, that's concerning in certain situations where you can't get a yard with Sony Michel. All right. But for right now, I don't think it's time to hit the panic button. I don't think the entire vision is there. I don't think all of that thing has been set in yet. And I guess as far as this fan base is concerned, one of the other big concerns was, all right, how is the quarterback going to look? And I think he's looked pretty fine in the 2 drives that he's had. He's obviously had a really good camp too. Had a great day today. Hit Tyreek Hill for a nice shot downfield. Mike Gesicki with a deep play from Tua, and that certainly I think is something because he had the whole. What did he put on Instagram? He put what the hell was it? It was. Let me get the exact post here because he did one of those cryptic Instagram things where it's like, all right, motivated, dude. He's got that going on. Mike Gesicki posted on it, just keep going with 3 zip face emojis. Just all action, no talk, keep it going. And he did. So he had a nice day of practice today. Obviously, he's been dealing with a lot as far as the team is concerned and impressing this coaching staff and, as in his words, learning a new position. But Tua connecting with his big tight end, who's on the franchise tag today. And Alec Ingold also saying that he believes that he can add a little dynamic as far as helping the speedy receivers on this team.
They're about polar opposites, but I think that's why opposites attract, I think is what they say. So, no, I think we're going to have a smash mouth physical run game, and those guys are going to bring the speed, and we're going to mesh well. And hopefully I can open some things up for them. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to serve everybody else on this offense. So hopefully I can do that for the passing game as well.
Well, that'll be exciting. It's good to see him be there in full contact because contact is his job. So having the idea of him out of the red jersey is a much bigger deal for this team because he'll be able to get things going in that place. And look, Mike McDaniel mentioned it today. He definitely wants the run game to be better, definitely wants to improve from where it was in Oakland. So it's not like he's ignoring it. It's not like he's just brushing it aside. It definitely is a thing that I think is on the mind of a guy where that's his bread and butter, right? That's what he comes in here recognizing what he is supposed to get better and what he comes in with a reputation at. One more thing before we rock out of here today. So Brandon Jones, Dolphins safety, he is has such dynamic ability getting after the quarterback and I think is growing as a player. But had some interesting thoughts today on this young secondary and specifically Jevon Holland, who I think is opening a ton of eyes. I think everybody kind of recognize it in the fan base down here, but nationally, Snowman's getting his shine, and he talked a little bit about the relationship that he has with Jevon Holland and how they have gotten so close off the field.
There's really no explanation of how it happened. It just kind of did. The first time he got out there for, I think it was OTAs, his rookie year, we just kind of, connected, and our bond has definitely grown off the field, and we're just always on the same page. I think what we like to do, we love to do, is we're always talking with each other, and I think that just, puts us at peace, and we know that, the defense, kind of runs through the safeties and trickles down when it comes to like a vocal leader and a physicality and, getting everybody on the same page. So we really take a lot of pride in doing that. And yeah, man, it was weird though how our relationship just kind of, you would have thought we've been friends forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting insight there from Brandon. And then, followed up with that with him, just saying how that friendship, how does that help him actually on the field even more? And, discussing why he believes that's such a benefit for them.
How much of that friendship and bond do you think that helps you on the field, just communication-wise, while things are going crazy?
Yeah, it builds a lot of just trust, and trust goes a long way, not only in football, but just in life in general. If you have that trust factor, it makes you want to go that much harder and helps you kind of understand where he's at, physically, mentally, if you got to do a little bit more to help him out, or if he has to do a little bit more to help me out. I think it just makes it easier for us to be on the same page.
Those two definitely look like they got a bright future ahead of them, and excited about this last week of preseason, because then it means we're closer to real football, and then you can really get down to the nitty gritty of it, man. So it'll be boots on the ground out there for the Eagles for Wednesday, certainly out there. Got a new Porpoise pod coming out with my boy Solana this week, so hopefully you guys can click the link and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate that. Give it a listen. I think everybody who checks out my stuff here will dig what we got going on over there as well. Same thing with the Tobin and Leroy show. Check that on out as well, everybody. And, what can we say? Dan Marino, the greatest.